Hello, I am Lucinda Lyer and I'm reporting for Screamingly Off the Wall Radio. This afternoon I'm going to be talking to Henry. Hello, Henry.
Hello.
Henry, this is quite an unusual interview, I feel. I understand that you're a zombie.
That's correct, Lucinda. I am a zombie.
Have you always been a zombie?
Well, no. Originally, actually, I started out as a vicar down in Cambridgeshire. And, well, what happened was Mrs. Merriweather, she'd been ill for a few weeks, actually, and she used to help out with the flowers and things like that. And we had noticed that a lot of the flowers that were being put out were actually dead. So I was a little concerned about her. But she phoned me one day and she said she was having a spiritual crisis. She was having some problems dealing with the concept of life after death. So I went round to counsel her and, well, partway through she offered me a biscuit and then she bit me on the neck here.
Good heavens.
And then I became a zombie.
How did you know you became a zombie?
Well, there was the fact that I woke up basically a rotting corpse in a grave, clawed my way out, and ever since then I've wanted to eat basically people, which is bizarre.
You say
Because
you've
as a
wanted
vicar, I
to
was
eat people.
vegetarian.
Excuse me, I must interject here.
Sorry.
You say you've wanted to eat people. Have you actually eaten people?
Occasionally. Well, what happens is we invite them over for dinner parties, you see, and, well, basically, whoever has the most boring conversation gets eaten.
And you say you are a vicar.
I am, yes.
Are you still practising as a vicar?
I am. I'm in St Blunderbuss Church in Cambridgeshire. It's a lovely parish. Well, it was a lovely parish. Unfortunately, it's pretty much now filled with zombies lurching around and people eating each other and setting fire to buildings and things. But we're working on expanding the parish, really, by creating our own zombie apocalypse, which...
Zombie apocalypse?
Yes! What we're thinking of doing is we have a unique viewpoint in our village, which is that zombies have a right to eat and to coexist with people in very much a zombie and cattle way. So we're trying to expand that to take on the whole world by basically biting people, converting them into zombies, and hopefully we will be the majority.
I see. And given your former mission in life,
Yeah.
how do you ever feel any crisis of conscience? Do you ever have any problems with eating people?
No, you see, I feel my role as vicar, I have to deal with the questions of what happens after we die and life after death. Now, I'm now able to tell my parishioners, well, of course there is life after death. I'm living it to the full. For example, when I took the youth group bowling, it was fantastic fun, and they were not only introduced to the concepts of life after death, but they became zombies too. They really enjoyed it, and I recommend it to anybody.
And where do you see this progressing? Where do you see this taking you?
Well, you see, this is the thing. I'm currently fighting a great deal of prejudice within the church, where they basically say that undead revenants from beyond the grave, brought back by horrific and twisted dark powers, shouldn't really be vicars. And I'm pointing out that actually we have a right to have a spiritual dimension too. So I'm fighting. I'm planning on putting forward my inauguration to be the first zombie bishop. Well, if that doesn't happen, then I will simply find the current bishop and bite him, turn him into a zombie, and that way we'll have president. Hopefully one day I could be the first zombie Archbishop of Canterbury. That would be fantastic.
And I make the reasonable assumption that your contention won't be that there is life after death, but that there is life in death.
Well, there is life in death, and it's nothing to be scared of. It's fantastic fun. I still do many of my old hobbies, and yet, at the same time, I've discovered new ones, such as hunting and ripping the heads off people and eating them.
You are explaining to me that there is a great deal of pleasure in eating people. And you have no conscience about eating people?
But I get to try out lots of new recipes. It's given me a whole new dimension to the kitchen.
And may I ask, and I would remind you that I have a number of people behind me.
Yeah.
I am well protected. Who are you considering eating today?
Well, now, you see, I was planning on eating that nasty Richard Dawkins. He's caused all kinds of problems for the church, and, he's very difficult. But he's very, very hard to catch, because he can run.
Yeah.
And my legs keep falling off whenever I try. I've tried all kinds of trying. So, instead, I found Stephen Hawking far easier to catch up with. All I did was nick a battery out of his wheelchair and he couldn't escape. So that's what I'm having today.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you very much for finding the time to speak to us today. Unfortunately, I can't find your proposals attractive, but they are certainly very interesting. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your time.